A hiring freeze can destroy your job offer and remove a lot of opportunities in the federal government. The biggest hiring freeze this year probably comes from the VA, but the Forest Service under the USDA, they decided to stop hiring actions as well. This is changing as the Forest Service has announced that it is lifting a temporary hiring pause to bring on new hires. The Forest Service has around 28,000 federal employees, and it ranks on the lower side of places to work with a ranking of 405 out of 459. But even though they have resumed hiring, they're not hiring everybody who had a job offer. They're going to prioritize people who currently have job offers, but not everyone's going to be included. The agency said they will move forward with 157 tentative job offers. These are for jobs like administrative support, law enforcement officers, resource assistants. They will also onboard some of the pathway program people and PMFs. But the remaining people that have job offers, they're not going to move forward with them. And this is a struggle that happens almost every day. Someone has their job offer withdrawn and they're in the process of changing their entire life. They've already called the moving truck, they booked the tickets, they completely uprooted their life. And now at the last minute, the agency says, well, the money's not there. The budget isn't lining up like we thought. So we have to freeze everything. And that causes a lot of pain and discomfort for the job applicant. Not just that, but it leaves a sour taste in their mouth when they even want to apply for that agency again. A small piece of good news is when it comes to this hiring restriction, it doesn't apply to the wildland firefighting force. If you go on USAJobs.gov and filter the jobs by the USDA agency and you type in wildland, you'll see that there's over 80 jobs here, many of them titled forestry technician. These are lower paying, low GS grade type jobs. They're around GS3 to GS7, so the salary range only goes up to around $23 an hour. But on the lower end, you don't need that much experience. People are always asking me, I don't have any experience, how can I get in? For a job like this, you need 6 months of experience, general labor, or they title it general experience. So you can come in to the USDA for a forestry technician position, even though you don't have a college degree, you don't have a lot of experience, and you can start at the lower end if you're okay with coming in as a GS4, GS5, something like that. These jobs are also located all across the country, and usually they're in more rural areas. So if you're trying to escape the big city, go out into the country, this could be a good fit for you. Now the Forest Service, they're still trying to digest their fiscal year 25 budget, and they're in the middle of what they call workforce planning. The agency is asking Congress for close to $9 billion, which is over $600 million more than their current spending. Now, the chief over there, they've instructed HR to categorize all these positions, over 100 of them. They want them either temporary or term. Now, from the employee perspective, this isn't a good thing because as employees, we're looking for permanent. We're not looking for term. Keep in mind, in the federal government, there are 4 types of permanent appointments. You have career conditional, career, non-temporary, or non-competitive. Temporary appointments, those are a little bit different. A temporary appointment cannot exceed 1 year, and a term appointment is for at least 1 year, but no more than 4 years. However, I know people who have accepted a term appointment, and then after 4 years, they get extended by 12 months. In fact, in one situation, this individual had 2 extensions, so they had a term position for a total of 6 years. After that, they were able to jump to a permanent position. To be clear, this is called a hiring pause and not a freeze. They also stated they're not withdrawing any final job offers. It's just with the tentative job offers. Now, if you look at this agency, the attrition rate is below 5%. This means for an agency of about 30,000, losing 5% a year, that's about 1,500 jobs gone. So those people would need to be replaced. At a minimum, you would have to hire 1,500 to keep the agency flat. As you know, federal employees, they received a 5.2% pay raise earlier this year. But Congress did not give the Forest Service any additional money in order for them to pay their employees. So what had to happen, not just in this agency, other agencies as well, they had to go ahead and reprioritize things, shift money around just so they could pay their employees a higher rate. If you are interested in working for the Forest Service, here are the top 5 jobs on USAJobs.gov. You have a 0025 park ranger. This is kind of low paid. Top salary here is about $47,000 a year. You have a 0102 social science aide. You have a 0303, which is a clerk admin type position. Almost all of these are temporary. And then the 0404, which is a biological science technician. And finally, the 0562 job series, there's over 100 jobs here. This is forestry technician. Together, that's a little over 200 jobs. And if you're younger, or if you have lower salary expectations, this could be a way to get into the federal government. For three main reasons. The first one, these jobs, most of them are open to the public, meaning you don't have to be a veteran or a current employee in order to apply. So that could help you out. The second is, most of these are temporary positions, and people like we just talked about, they don't want temporary. So if you're willing to make that sacrifice and come in on a temporary appointment, then this could be something for you as well. And then third, these are lower GS grade positions, meaning that they have lower salaries than the average federal employee. This turns off a lot of people as well. Looking at this situation, I would say that the Forest Service, they're probably gonna change their hiring strategy at the start of the fiscal year. Look at October, look after the presidential election, maybe sometime in January of next year. They could resume hiring as they were. And another thing about some of these positions, look at the park ranger position. That is a public-facing position. There are people that I talk to that are not so concerned with the salary. They're more concerned with making an impact. So they want a public-facing job. They want to interact with the public, and you can do that in a park ranger position. Now, if you look at the Department of Interior, a lot of their park ranger positions, they're kind of categorized as law enforcement. The ones I looked at in this agency, there wasn't much law enforcement involved. If you're interested in a federal government job, but you need to be at home, you want 100% remote work, because that's where you perform the best, or you want to cut down on commuting costs, whatever the reason. I was talking to a lady recently, and she said she had a toxic supervisor, bad boss. But the fact that she had 100% remote work, that was the only thing keeping her in her position. So if you want to learn more about 100% remote work in the federal government, I want you to watch this video next. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.